Oh, what's up, everybody? Once again, it's Brandman Sean, and this video is brought to you by BrandmanNetwork.com because I signed myself. Now, I had to do this video real quick. I was watching a video by a guy named Corey, and he was talking about podcasts. He was talking about artists should be doing podcasts, or it's something worth trying, it's something worth looking into. And look, man, first of all, I'll just say I agree that it's worth looking into, worth trying. But my opinion is more like this because I saw other people talking about things like Joe Budden, his brand has been watered down from it, or some people just have pushback. Because I've talked to people, I've heard a lot of artists have pushback against creating a podcast. But it's the same perspective and opinion when people say you shouldn't do a YouTube channel first because I'm gonna get caught in this box, or it's gonna mess up this brand, or you shouldn't do have be an Instagram influencer first. But there's proof of all these things working, right? But which one is gonna work for you? So first, I'm gonna start there, right? One, when I say find out what works for you, it's a twofold thing. One, what works for you literally from in terms of your happiness, your level of fulfillment. What do you actually want out of a situation in life? You don't have to figure out your own version of success based on somebody else's. But two, what actually works for you. Because yeah, you might want to be a best NBA player in the world, but bro, you ain't even in the league and that time has passed. Like, so what actually will work for you? Like what can you make happen? All right. So and get good results with that thing. So like the whole thing to this is realizing in the same way everybody's watching TV on demand, right? These days, they're watching movies on demand these days. Podcast is nothing but radio. Radio is on demand in the form of a podcast. Of course, we have the old traditional term radio, and then we have the term podcast, but it's the same stuff action and behavior wise, right? One is just a different format. So it's going to be something that becomes more and more and more popular. It already is popular in the form of radio, but you're going to see that market increase. It already has increased. Like the numbers are ridiculous. I can't remember right now. I was working on a project deep into podcasting like 3-4 years ago. But my point with this is when it comes to these routes, these things to try, like podcasting, not just podcasting, YouTube channels, or some of these other new fledgling things, some of these new platforms, is most people are in the following mentality. And that's why it's hard to get ahead of the game for a lot of people, because you're studying people who have done things. And then if you try to study those people, of course you need to study and learn those things. But if you're always only saying or trying to do things that have already worked because the path has already been beaten by a pioneer, then you're going to be moving into a saturated market. Because I hear artists always talk about how everything's saturated, there's so much competition, because you're only trying to move in a direction that everybody else is already trying to move. You're moving in that same wave. Sometimes you have to create the wave, sometimes you have to bet on yourself and then actually try it. Don't think through a situation. All right, I've known a few people, they'll be thinking through a situation, and this is just outside of music sometimes. Like, we just be talking about some stuff, and they'll think through a situation and be satisfied with the results or lack thereof and not do it. They're like, nah, that's not gonna work. Or it's like, bro, you didn't do anything. And then you try 5 other things, you think through 5 other options, and now you just end up doing nothing. No, you gotta do something. Try one of these things, right? If you don't like your job, let's just pretend I work at McDonald's, right? And I wanna be a rapper. And I also have this gift where the way I speak, people want to see a podcast from me. But I'm like, nah, I don't want to necessarily do that because the podcast might be too big and too successful. So I don't want that to get in the way of my rap career. It was like, all right, so you know what? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to keep trying this rap thing, which isn't going to work for me for whatever reason right now, and just work at McDonald's. So that to me, that doesn't make sense unless you just really hate podcasting. If having a successful podcast is a worse thing for you than working at McDonald's or whatever your life situation is right now, okay, it makes sense not to have a successful podcast or insert the name of whatever else in here. And everybody has to understand your music might not be your ultimate thing, like your biggest thing regardless. Joe Budden's biggest thing, not necessarily his music. People like Nipsey Hussle, right? His music is big, right? But he also has a personality and an impact that supersedes that. And that same thing, even when it comes to people like Tupac, as big as his music was, his personality supersedes his actual music. right? There's so many other aspects of your brand. So are you just trying to follow the traditional path and say, I need to be an artist this way, that the industry has said this is what being an artist means for a career? Or are you just trying to make music for a living and have that be a part of your lifestyle? Because if it's a part of your lifestyle, it doesn't necessarily have to be the only way you make money, right? You have somebody like Wiz Khalifa. Yes, he wins with music, whatever. But he has music. He has so many other businesses. He has, the weed stuff. Like it's a full scope of things, especially when you're somebody in the entertainment industry, right? You can make a career out of the full scope of things. Build the lifestyle you want. Because a lot of y'all have the gifts and opportunities to do a lot more than music. And sometimes that music will get you in the door and create the relationships to actually go rap. Just like Ludacris started off as a person on the radio, a DJ on the radio, left and then rap, but he had those personal relationships, right? You can use that to have your way in. Most of y'all are getting yourselves in situations where you need a gatekeeper to get you in. It's a gatekeeper mentality when sometimes it's like, look, maybe you do hate podcasting, but you got a gift that's going to attract people's attention. So you know what? I'm going to do this podcasting thing, attract some attention, use this platform to flip and create relationships with other people, get some money, and then take that to invest in myself. And I already have some sort of an audience, right, to build up my other career, my rap career, or this whatever, hair product, whatever you got going on for yourself. Like, it's all a flip at the end of the day. We can't keep going in this systematic schooling mentality where there's only one way to do things and this is the proper way to do it. Like, which way works for you? All right, which way works for you? We keep analyzing everybody else's paths, but at the end of the day, if they're there, they're there. And but you're upset going the way that everybody else has went. Perfect example is DJ Academics too. I know a lot of people don't like him for whatever reason, all that kind of good stuff, whatever. I don't know him. But at the end of the day, he went a route to do what he's doing through YouTube. A lot of people who are going a more traditional route, and I went to school for journalism and all this kind of stuff. I think he did too. But I went through the industry and I did it the right way. I guarantee you wish they did what he did, right? And they had the type of platform that he had, that he built the way he built it, right? But so sometimes we're choosing to go the long route. Sometimes we can't see shortcuts because we're stuck in this other stuff, bruh. And I'm only saying this and I'm only ranting because to me, this video feels like motivational type stuff, which I really don't feel like I'm doing. But at the end of the day, too often, bruh, I see so many artists that have gifts for certain things that they will not do because they're stuck on the idea that they have to do it this other way or other people are going to judge them or somebody's convinced them that this is the right way to do it. And then the alternate for them isn't like, oh, I'm just going to be happy doing this. It's one thing if you're happy. It's like, I hate my life and I could do this, but I'm not going to do this because I want to do that. It's like, no, man, take advantage of what you got. Sometimes you got to use what is in your hands right now, right? Use what's right before you right now to flip it and then let that take you on a path and then make the decisions as you get further down the path. So that's it, man. That's my spiel. I just randomly wanted to throw this video up here. I'm not even going to do a thumbnail or nothing for it, or if I do, it's going to be days late. But other than that, bro, hey, if you like this video, go ahead and like button. If you like it, might as well share it. And Corey, if you happen to ever see this video, bruh, do that video on how to make a podcast. I want to see it. I'm with everybody else. Go ahead and make that happen. And where did I leave off? And if you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button.